Mystery is a game long lost and forgotten to the West, as the original was only released in Japan on PSP. But now we're finally getting the chance to experience it in the West on Nintendo Switch, and I was able to get my grubby little hands on it thanks to PQube, so big shout out to them, thank you very much. I'll be telling you my experience of the game from what I have played and giving you a rundown of everything so you can decide if this game is for you. The game starts off a little differently than the previous two in the series, letting you choose from 3 different academies to start from. As far as I know, the only difference will be a different starting location and therefore different quests. But most importantly, different outfits for your characters. This gives fun options for replayability. I chose the Takachio College because I like their vibes most of all, aka the outfits. Shh. You then get into one of the really fun aspects of these types of games, making characters to explore dungeons with. As in case you haven't guessed, this is a dungeon crawler. There's 10 different races available to choose from with 4 portrait options for each, and the ability to change their hair color, voices, and most importantly, classes. Each race has one class exclusive to it, as well as a large list of options to choose from for everyone, from frontliners to backliners. Personally, I picked all the race exclusive classes since they sounded special. I mean, if one class is special to each race, like, I might as well take my opportunity to try it when I'm making that type of character. There's a slight random factor to this, but I have a big tip for making your characters. From the moment you enroll, you're given a number of attribute points, ranging from small single digits to 30 or more. I recommend resetting it by backing out and then just clicking over and over again until you get at least 25 or more attribute points to give your character a big boost right off the bat. I think the highest I got was like 34? You might be able to get higher. Challenge me on this. You probably can, but I gave up with that because I kept re-rolling whenever I got a good number on accident. So, you could be like me and just keep re-rolling and re-rolling and re-rolling and accidentally resetting over the really good numbers and then having to settle for bad numbers. Once you make yourself a well-balanced team, you can set off on your journey. You can also make more characters and switch characters in and out, or leave some stationed at certain locations anytime you like. We get a little bit of story. One of the characters is written in a weird way. I don't think it would go down well nowadays or even then-a-days back then. But it's just one character, so you can just ignore them. Avert your gaze. Don't look at them. They were just the one character. I was like, can you please leave me alone? I don't want you here. I don't want you. So the story is pretty basic, but you don't really play dungeon crawlers for the story. It's usually more the party building and dungeon exploration that matters in these types of games, so I don't mind at all. Now we have the school facilities. There's a shop with a bit of everything going on, a quest board you can accept quests from and report them to, a place to make more characters and manage the party, a clinic you can revive dead characters from and remove curses, and an alchemy room where you can craft items, weapons, materials, and all sorts of stuff. It's extremely handy for making new gear. The only downside is a quality of life feature I was hoping they'd introduce in the remake, which is that you can look in your academy book for recipes to craft, right? But then you have to leave that menu and enter a separate crafting menu and just remember the materials from the big list of items you have and go find them. It's rather inconvenient. It was one of my issues with the earlier games too. One very handy feature of alchemy though is deconstructing equipment to its base materials to use for other things, or you can deconstruct equipment you get with minus values and then remake them to not have the negative values anymore. After that, we get our first quest to pick something up from a shrine, so let me introduce you to dungeons. Dungeons are wide maps you can explore with a party of adventurers, as the dungeon is filled with monsters to battle and loot to collect. You have a map you can look at with the press of a button, and you can reveal more of the map as you walk around, and those tiles now show up on the map. You can also set autopaths with the map over areas you've already been, but you'll still have to accept moving through doors and fighting manually. There's a few interconnecting maps in different directions. In a single dungeon, you have to find your own path through. There can also be traps on the ground, so you have to be careful. Here we encounter battle, so let's talk more about the battle mechanics. Battles start out pretty tough until you get some level up, so you may be healing quite a bit, so maybe stay near the entrance of the dungeon so you can easily escape and heal up and then come right back. As well as only starting out with little gear, so you'll be looting a lot of chests after battle to try to strengthen up your team and to give backliners appropriate weapons since everyone starts out with a dagger. Which isn't too helpful for backliners because that's out of range. They can't use it in battle because it's too short range. You'll also be leveling up your percentage for each class, which helps you learn new skills in magic. It's definitely more of a grindy game in terms of leveling and keeping up with new gear, but that's something I've come to expect from most dungeon crawlers. I recommend taking the gear of some of the pre-made characters and selling it to make a little cash to start with. Or making more characters and selling their gear to make cash to start with. I've used this strategy in a couple of these types of dungeon crawling games, like Etrian Odyssey I've done that for, and it's quite helpful. Just so you can get a little gear straight off the bat. Battles can be pretty tough in this game, especially when arriving in a new dungeon. It's turn-based where you pick everyone's action, and then those actions play out in order of character and enemy speeds. You can choose from basic attacks, skills, magic, and defending as well as attempt to run away. Skills are usually more physical attacks and abilities, while spells focus on magic abilities. It's important to make a well-rounded team for combat with someone tanky and physically offensive for your front line and a healer or two for your back line, as well as someone with magic damage. Subclasses offer both of these at once though, since there's a lot of big differences between characters of different specialties. For example, a funny difference I noticed on my team is my Fairy Sage has 35 health but has strong magic damage and healing. But my Berserker has 405 health and still packs a punch. I believe she is slower though, so I think that's her downfall. I don't know why she's so powerful though. She can't be this powerful. She's too strong. Some classes also have passive skills you should read in case they're useful for combat or exploration purposes. There's also a new feature in this game, in the series, a character relationship system. Here you can make some lore and choose who dislikes and likes who. Doing so will unlock new skills and abilities to use. I'll be honest, I've been avoiding this feature so far because I feel bad making my characters dislike each other. I'm such a coward, even though I know there's perks to it too, because you get special abilities and skills to unlock. I guess I'll take the downfall on that. I just think you have to make someone like and dislike someone. It's one for one. You can't make everyone love each other. I just want everyone to love each other. The first quest is just collecting from a shrine here and defeating a mini-boss. Once you're pointed in, you get to set off and explore new towns and dungeons for another mission. You'll have to traverse back and forth between towns if needed, since some towns don't have somewhere to do alchemy. They also have different items at the shop as well as recipes. The auto-pathing comes in handy for these traversals. My experience with the game so far has been very enjoyable. There can be repetitive need for grinding more often, which can be a plus or minus depending on your opinion. I'm used to grinding, so I don't mind it so much. It can be fun feeling the power up you get. The maps are also wide enough areas but feel a little empty early on, but I believe more stuff will be added in each dungeon, making the maps a little more interesting. I really enjoy the customization character creation wise, and class wise it's always fun to see what interesting combinations of characters and classes you can come up with, and it leaves a lot of replayability since you can make a whole new unfamiliar cast of characters and classes every time you want to play through the game again. And if you're not vibing with a class, you can always just switch it on the fly. There's also plenty of crafting recipes. It can be overwhelming, but also exciting since depending on the materials you get lucky with, you can build different things. I definitely feel an improvement from the previous games, while there's still some quality of life features I'd like. I recommend it to dungeon crawling fans, RPG enthusiasts, gamers that love a challenge, or anyone who enjoys customizing their characters and team to make the strongest team they can. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my videos, I'll have one linked here. I cover a lot of RPGs, cozy, and Nintendo games, and I live stream regularly, so feel free to join us. Have a wonderful day! 3, 2, 1, poo-poo!